But first, the original dance. No real surprises after the compulsories. Usova, Zhulin are the leaders. Grishuk, Platov are second. The real battle is for the bronze medal, and a battle between the two premier coaches in ice dancing. And with their thoughts on those two stories, here are Barbara Underhill and Paul Martini.
Well, Chris, the battle for the bronze is between two teams with two very different styles, as you will see. The Finnish team of Susanna Rahkamo and Petri Kokko are trying to win their country's first ever medal in ice dance history. But close on their heels is a Russian team, relatively new on the scene, who are trying to complete a Russian sweep of this event for the second year in a row. And Paul, Russian dominance in ice dance has never been more evident.
Well, Barbara, the 29 teams entered here in the ice dance competition, 9 of them are from the former Soviet Union. And of those 9, 8 take from one of two very special ladies, Natalia Dubova and Natalia Linichuk. These two women are certainly the most creative influences in ice dancing today, as Dubova is here with 3 teams, Linichuk here with 5, and creativity is what ice dance is all about. But our own Canadians have a style and character all their own, so let's go to the ice to see their version of the original dance, the Viennese Waltz.
Next couple,
15th after the 2 compulsory dances, and with the Canadian team cheering them on, here are Shae-Lynn, Bourne, and Victor Kraatz, our young national champions.
Well, the dancers had a day off between the compulsory dances and this original dance. And on that day off, Victor and Shae-Lynn watched Kurt Browning win the men's technical, and then they watched their fellow training mates, Isabel Brasseur and Lloyd Eisler, win gold. So there's certainly have to be pumped going out here for this original dance performance.
For Victor and Shae-Lynn.
Well, there's no doubt that many in the skating community felt that this team was underjudged, sitting in 15th place going into this original dance. And I think what's important for them is to do what they've just done, continue to go out there, skate well. Many feel that they've made an excellent first impression, and they have to continue to make that impression here.
Where they're really going to make their impression is in the free dance.
First set of marks are for required elements, 4.5s up to a 4.9 from the German judge. Boy, they're relaxed out on the ice. He looked up during the waltz and gave teammates here just to our side a big wink, or maybe that was for Mom because she's got the video camera here recording the moments. The second set of marks up to a 5.1, so the German judge certainly enjoyed their work. Bourne and Kraatz of Canada here in the original dance. And with more on the Viennese Waltz, here's Jean Senft.
Thanks, Chris. The rhythm chosen for the original dance this year is the Viennese Waltz. While the waltz itself can be traced back to German origin, it is the Austrian Strauss family who made the Viennese the favorite of the 19th century. The International Skating Union is specific this year about the music to be used. It must have a constant beat and be orchestrated for use on the ballroom floor. The character of the waltz on the ballroom floor should be apparent on the ice. Look for face-to-face waltz positions and the pivot steps where the partners twirl around each other. Here we see face-to-face waltz positioning in the Viennese on the ice. And also the pivot steps, which help propel the momentum of the dance. The Viennese should have deep flowing edges with a lean and lilt as the couple dances across the ice. It should be skated with an upright carriage without appearing stiff or labored. It also requires good balance as the skaters change positions and edges. Flow and speed over the ice are important, and knee bends and free leg extensions will enhance the character of the waltz. One stop is permitted in the program as long as the flow of the music is maintained with body movements. However, kneeling on the ice is not allowed, and the couple may only separate to change dance hold. The best Viennese waltzes will be the ones that float across the ice with speed and power and glide. You should be able to project to the ballroom floor and imagine yourself twirling about with a sense of regal gaiety.
To the medal contenders, Susanna Rahkamo, Petri Kokko, the bronze medalists at the European Championships representing Finland. They were third in the Westminster Waltz, fourth in the Argentine Tango, so they are actually tied for third coming into this original dance.
Well, Susanna and Petri really will have to make an impression here because it's very likely that the dominant team will emerge from this portion of the competition.
program, I felt like it charged around the ice surface, or if they'd been on a dance on a ballroom floor, charged around the ballroom floor. I didn't get the feeling that they really waltzed out there. I felt like they were so busy trying to push, trying to cover ice, but that aspect was missing to a degree.
Well, also I noticed they didn't quite capture that waltz feel. To capture that, you really need that closed waltz position throughout the dance. They really didn't use that position very often at all.
And based on the piece we saw from Jean, they also separated a few times. We'll have their marks when we return to Prague. Up to 5.7 from the judge from Poland. Martin Skotnicki, their coach.
Best this year.
Push it down. Push it down.
And now the presentation marks, and they're higher up to a 5.8 from the judge from the Czech Republic. They have first place ordinals from all 9 judges so far, but it will be very interesting because the next skaters to come out are Angelika Krylova and Vladimir Fedorov. The skaters they're battling for the bronze medal with, so it's really a nice opportunity for the judges to compare them back to back. Good. So they seem happy, but this will be the test now as Krylova and Fedorov of Russia come out. They were 4th in the first CD and 3rd in the second, so they are tied for 3rd place now coming into this original dance.
I think it's important to note at this point that every one of these waltzes that you're going to see, the music was written by Johann Strauss, and as he was called the Waltz King because of the fact he composed more than 150 waltzes.
Well, I'm already getting a better waltz feel from this team. It just seems a little more graceful, seems to float a little bit better across the ice than that of Rahkamo Kokko.
Kokko, this couple had good speed and good flow, but I didn't sense that this team had to work at it as hard as Rahkamo Kokko appeared to have to work at it.
Yeah, it just had the feeling of easiness out there. Everything flowed very nicely, and they just seemed to float across the ice as opposed to skate. Yeah, and I think it has
a lot to do with their knee action. I thought this was much better use of their knees to give you that feeling of it just flowing across the ice.
And also the quality of the edges. As they skate past us, we can usually hear the edges, but this team was very quiet.
Natalia Linichuk congratulating Angelika Krylova and Vladimir Fedorov in the first set of marks, 5-4 up to 5-7, so this is going to be very close as we anticipated. Ludmila Vlasova is the choreographer in the fur coat. Gennady Karponosov, who was a partner of Natalia Linichuk's and world champion. twice in 78 and 79. The second set of marks, and there are ordinals that will send them into third place. They have 6 first-place ordinals, 3 seconds, so they have moved ahead of Rahkamo, Kokko, and for the time being are the leaders with their Russian teammates, Usova, Zhulin, Grishuk, Platov, still to come. Leaders Usova, Zhulin just about set for their original dance. They skate for Russia, but now train in the United States, where conditions are dramatically different from Moscow. Home is now a long way from home for Майя Усова and Alexander Zhulin. The Russian ice dancers train with Natalia Dubova in Lake Placid, New York.
This Lake Placid, it's a good place for walk. Sasha and me no have problem this. No have problem life, no have problem food, no have problem training. Nothing.
It's group Natalia Dubova now have good sponsor. We now have money for pay for ice, for lights, for everything. And it's very difficult, and for good work, for concentrate. We too much concentrate about food, about my car, about my house, because it's too many mafias now in Russia. It's too many times I must thinking about another problems, not about ice, not about my free program, OSP program, you know. And this is difficult. Here in the United States, we're very concentrated about figure skating. It's very important for us.
Well, conditions certainly are tough in Russia. Talking to Alexei Urmanov's coach about that. We'll have more when Urmanov skates later, but suffice to say, Usova and Zhulin certainly have thrived on their opportunity to train in Lake Placid, and they are the leaders after the compulsory dances.
This team is the epitome of grace and elegance, and if I can picture any team dancing in a grand ballroom, this is the team. With such ease. They're just incredible to watch.
Well, I think that performance is going to hold them in good stead. I don't see them being pushed out of their current first place position. You have to remember that this is like the technical program for the singles and pairs, a setup event. the two compulsory dances being worth 10% each. This is worth 30% of the final score, and the free dance worth 50%.
Never takes long for the judges to handle Usova Zhulin's marking. There the marks come up 5.6 from the American judge, up to 5 9s from Poland, Russia, and Ukraine. So it looks like they're one step closer to their first World Championship. Presentation marks are even higher. 5 9s from Finland, Germany, Poland, the Czech Republic, Russia, the United States, and Ukraine. First place ordinals from all 9 judges for the leaders Usova Zhulin, Grishuk, Platov are next when we return to the 93 Worlds in Prague. After the compulsory dances, Evgeni Platov and Oksana Grishuk of Russia. Barb, we chatted with them prior to the competition. They said they do a lot of their practicing in a ballroom, and it should come in to good stead here.
Well, day after day in an arena, I'm sure it's difficult to bring out the ballroom feel. So any opportunity I would think that they would have to get into a ballroom would be very helpful. The flow through all the very difficult transitions. That's one thing that this team does extremely well.
Well, Barb, as I watched this performance and the performances of the other 2 Russian teams, what they all do very, very well is carry enormous amounts of speed across the ice. They do it effortlessly, and I think that's the one basic reason why what's setting up to possibly be a sweep of this ice dance competition.
I thought this dance had a very regal feel, a majestic feel almost.
And we'll be back with the marks for Grishuk Platov in Prague after this. You get the marks for Oksana Grishuk and Evgeni Platov of Russia, the bronze medalists a year ago at the World Championships in Oakland. 5 7s, a 5-6 from Germany, and a 5-5 from Finland. So it would appear that they're on their way to staying in second place. I think we tend to forget that this couple really has only been together for just 4 years, but they've had great success. The presentation marks, some interesting ordinals here. 5 second-place marks, but also 2 thirds from Hungary and Germany, and 2 fourths from Poland and the Czech Republic for Grishuk and Platov. So after the original dance, Usova Zhulin still the leaders. Grishuk Platov are second. Krylova Fedorov move into third place, giving Russia another potential sweep of the World Dance Competition. Susanna Rahkamo and Petri Kokko of Finland are now in 4th place. Canadian Shae-Lynn, Bourne, and Victor Kraatz remain 15th.